Hey, this is Brent here at HotJet. Just want to go over the hot-cold combo package for you, so that when you get it, you'll know how to run it. First off, you want to make sure that you wear your proper safety clothes, your boots, gloves, glasses, hearing protection. Make sure you're safe that way. Inside the toolbox, we've got all the safety stuff here readily accessible for you to see. Startup procedures for the remotes and the antifreezing and how to run it and everything. All your safety that you want to follow. Wear your glasses, face protections, hose safety. Make sure you don't have any hoses that are wore or things of that nature. We've got our book here that's got all the warranties in it, all of your different sales things, catalogs that you can order out of. Your hot cold book here talks about the motors, all the pumps, all of the stuff for doing maintenance and everything on there. We've got our checkouts that talks about all the trailer, all your serial numbers. Here's all your same safety stuff that you've got hooked there, so you can go through it, go with have your meetings and teach all your guys how to do everything, so that they're all safe and have signed off on how to run it and maintain it and all of that good stuff there. So we've got our hot water unit up in the front, 35 horse Vanguard, 1-inch filter, so there's plenty of flow. We've got our cold water unit in the back here, so you can run 35 horse hot or cold, 70 horse hot or cold. If something happens to the front motor, you can still run the burner with the back motor. In here we've got our loader system here. This is so you adjust all the pressures and everything by a valve, so that if it gets too much pressure, a pop-off valve that'll release the pressure so it won't hurt any of your equipment. This is a bypass, so that if you want to run it without the burner, you just turn that up and that'll bypass the coil, so the water will just go through the main things there. And then if you want to run then in the on position, that runs it through the coil so that you can run the heat or anything. If anything should happen, you just turn that off. You're still got your water flowing good. Pulsator valves, so if you have a clog, you can hit them. That'll hammer the line, help break up that clog. Pressure relief valves, bleeder valves. So if you have to do any work or you get air in the lines, you can bleed the valve once you got it going. That'll help get the air out and get it running faster. Prime it.
And you can blow it out.
And you can use it as a blowout, so that you can open up your lines in the back, hit your air hose on it, and that'll blow the air out of the pumps and everything, so that you're safer there. We've got our antifreeze system here. Windshield washer fluid. You don't want to use your RV antifreeze because it slushes up and it'll still cause problems. Don't want to use car antifreeze, too expensive and messy. So just your super good car wash fluid, or windshield washer fluid, proper strength so that it'll not freeze up. Just to start with, you've got a shut-off valve here, so that if you need to work on here, you just turn that off so that you can do your work changing your valve filters, open that back up. Otherwise, they stay open. Three-way valve back here. There's one for both motors, so there's one on each side. So you have the valve turned to the tank, you're running off the tank. Turn it this way, you're going to be drawing antifreeze. So you just want to make sure you have both of them doing the same thing. If you go to antifreeze it and you leave one open and you antifreeze it, you're just going to start sucking water through and messing it all up. 330-gallon water tank. Want to make sure that you're draining that so that it doesn't freeze up and break the fittings and things like that. Got a drain here, 2-inch PVC drain. This is your tachometers. light switch for your floods. It's got a lighter outlet so you can run floodlights or charge your cell phones or whatever you want to do there. Have a lighter in there if you want to light your smokes. We've got a power wash clean off hose under here for doing your power cleaning, and also running your lateral small hose line foot pedal setup that we'll get into. This is your 3/8 hot water hose, 300 foot of 3/8. Run your 3/8 Warthog on there. Soap valve, we've got the soap valve here in the back so that you can open your soap line when you start running it out and turn your heater on, so you can do that. Everything's in the back. We've got our throttles up here, so front throttle, back throttle, so everything's done in the back again. Pressure gauge for this one here. We got our valving right in here. This three-way here will turn this on and off. This is your easy start valve, so when you start it up, you're going to want to have that open so that your pumps will turn and it'll fire up. And this is your valve back here for your power wash hose here. Got your 1/2 inch by 500 foot cold water line here. Top of the line reel. Nice thumb controls on them right here for bringing them in and out. Your valve here for this one. Pressure gauge. Got a fill hose reel with 120 foot of water hose fill here. And you just hook your hose up, unhook her here, hook your hose up, automatically feeds into your tank. So we've got return line hoses here, so you can hook your hose up here, plug it in. You can be running it when it's real cold and just idling, and it'll just recirculate the water in the tank and the lines and everything, so you don't have any freeze ups. Speed control for this reel here. Just adjust that for speed in and out, or the pull and in speed. We've got our accessories here. Hose saver, tiger tail, hose savers, power wash gun, different things there, our cones. We've got a fast fill hookup here so you can do your hydrant filling. Hook her on there, take the lid off, and you can fill the tank fast. There's our other valve right there that we was showing you on the other side, same as that. Make sure that that is in line with the tank, or you turn it and then that's feeding your antifreeze tank. Soap tank right there. Regular gasoline for the motors, and the burner takes kerosene or diesel kerosene. Deep cycle batteries in both motors and everything. So we've got, we'll go ahead and talk about our little remote stuff here. Let me just grab the remote real quick here. So we got our remote unit here. Top of the line remote. This will start up both motors and your burner. So to do that, you're just gonna flip your remote switch on right there. That activates it so that you can use the remote. You don't have to play with the keys on it. You just have this set so it's on, and then you fire it up back there and do everything from the back. Should something happen to your remote, you have that off. You're going to start it with the keys. Use this as your burner switch. So you'll flip that up. You can hit this button once. That'll activate your light so you know your activation.
Just make sure you're in bypass before you start.
And before you start, you just want to make sure you're in bypass. So
That's that valve.
Yep.
And your hose reels are off.
The hose reels are off. So when you're ready to fire it up, of course, you're going to want to make sure your water lines are open and you got your water lines, and you want to make sure all your valves are turned off but the bypass valve. So this is off because it's not running with the line. This is open because it's running with the line. So you got all your reels off. That allows you to start it up with the bypass on. It'll start easy. And then after it's running and you're ready to kick it in, put your line down in the hole. You're gonna lift that up. That's gonna start the pressure, close your bypass. So now you're running full with no bypass open and you're running full bore. When you need to stop it, if you don't reach in there and do that, you can just shut it off and it'll function. You just need to be able to have the pressure off next time you start it or it won't start. So your throttles, you can just open them up a little bit, fire it up, put it down in your hole, crank them up. You've got your set at about 3,000 RPMs, and that's full bore, and it'll give you your 3,500 PSI.
We're going to start it for a sec.
Okay, so
You're in the startup position.
We'll go ahead and fire it up just for a second here. Click that. We got that started. We got our valves are all open. There you go. So now you're running.
Probably needs choke.
Yeah, got to choke it a little bit. It's still pretty cold, so.
Let's show the choke real quick.
Okay.
We're pretty well. And we got to show the. You haven't antifreezed all the way yet. I don't see antifreeze.
No, I've been running
okay.
it, so.
All right,
So there's your choke right there. There you go.
Okay, so after they do that, let's show how we antifreeze.
So after you're done and you're ready to do your antifreezing, you'll take your fittings off of the back, your warthogs, so you just got your hoses open, exposed. You'll turn your valves, both valves, to the antifreeze. So you got your valve off, or your warthogs off. So for this particular phase here, you want to have your bypass closed and that open, so that when you start it, you won't be pumping any of your antifreeze into your tank. It'll come out, so you just start it up on idle, run it until you see the antifreeze come out the hole. Go ahead and close that. Open your other one, do the same thing to that one. If you haven't been, you do the same thing to this one here, so that you got all three of them, and then you can shut this off, let the pressure off, and you're antifreezed from the front to the back. And then to de-antifreeze it, you're just gonna come in here, you're gonna turn your lines back to the tank in the morning when you're ready. And make sure both of them return to the tank. Take your top off, drag your hose around here, fire it up. You're gonna run your antifreeze back in here, and when it cleans up.
Here. Up to you. What do you think? Maybe hook some couplers in there. Okay.
When you get done, when it clears up with clear water, pull it away, and then you've returned your antifreeze back into your tank. If you're only going to use one reel, leave the other two antifreeze, then you don't have to sit and do all of them at the exact same time. That should pretty well do it for that part. We've got our accessories here. This is your
really small drains.
Cleaning your really small drains. You've got your lateral with the 1/4 inch hose. Basically, you're gonna run this line here out. Gonna open it, put it on there. Hook your jumper hose on there. Gonna put that on there.
There you go.
You got your foot pedal right in here. You go in the house or wherever, put that in there. You got your full control right there.
Put your nozzle on that.
Put your 1/4" nozzle on there. So,
And then the stingers, so you can't turn around.
Depending on the size of your pipe, you don't want it to be able to turn and come back at you. So,
Show how we put that on. We put that on right
we
here.
supply you with some different size stingers. You put that on there, put your warthog back on there, or your small nozzle, whichever, and that makes it so it can't turn and come back out of the pipe at you. The bigger one, you'll probably run into some bigger lines, so we've got a short or a long, so you don't end up having that problem.
Super.
So,
And then on heat, I don't like to see them go over 120.
okay, the heater, we don't want it to go over 120 when you're running the 35 by itself. It's not going to go very hot, but you can set that so it kicks off at 120 when you're
120's right there.
Yeah, when you're running both machines full bore, you won't get the 120. When you're doing 70 gallons, that's pushing a lot of water. So
20 gallons.
yeah, or 20 gallons a minute, that's pushing a lot of water. So
Cool. So
Okay.
the last thought I've got, I think we pretty well got it. It's just making sure that we know which way. So in lines with the tank, with the water tank.
When it's lined up with the tank, that's
And then when you pull it this way,
then
turn
that's-
that one that
then
way.
that's- Then it turns.
can look
into
at the flow
yeah,
here.
Yeah,
that's
Right
flowing this way.
yeah,
It's got the little arrow on it.
yeah,
So that arrow now is this way.
yeah. And it's when you turn that, then it's following the hose.
Right. The other thing is
Down
to
to
keep
it.
the batteries hot. If you're not going to use it for a long time, keep your fuel tanks full, because that new ethanol fuel is terrible on these. Looks pretty good. Good. Thanks, bro.
Yep. Thank you.
Do a quick walk around.
Hi, this is Brent with HotJet. We just want to show you how to antifreeze your hot-cold system. We got done running it, and now it's time for you to antifreeze it and put it to bed for the night. So first off, you want to come up here and turn your 3-way valve so that you will start drawing on your antifreeze. Want to make sure and open up both of them at the same time. Yes. Okay, we've got that done, so they're both open, so it'll draw the antifreeze now. With this process, you want to open up your line here and keep the quick start, easy start valve on the off position so that you don't push your antifreeze back into the tank. So you're going to fire it up just idling with the line open, and you got your hose. And we're going to run that until we see the antifreeze coming out. It'll go through the coil and the 300-foot of hose, so it'll take just a minute. When we see it come out, then we're just gonna shut this valve off here.
You got 300 feet of heating coil.
300 feet of heating coil. I've got a 24-gallon tank on there, and it uses quite a bit of it, so with all 3 reels and the coil. So
there you go.
There you go. Shut that off, turn the motor off here. And we'll open this one up, and then we'll start the second motor so that the antifreeze goes through that too.
letting the pressure off nice and easy.
Now
Okay.
we'll fire up the second one. You hit your button there, and then you're gonna hit the second one. Now we'll run that.
So I'll go videotape the antifreeze tank. That's going to take about all your antifreeze.
Yeah, it takes quite a bit, so.
You can also blow these out. You're down to about 5 gallons. There you go.
There you go. Now we're gonna hurry and open up this one here.
One-man antifreezing crew.
Yep. There's that. Now you'll shut it off. So it went through the back loaded, so you're from front to back, all 3 lines, everything from front to back. Then you just want to ease your pressure off on that valve here so you get rid of the pressure. And now you're all antifreeze from front to back.
And drain your tank.
Drain the tank, then in the morning you're just gonna pump it back into the tank like we talked about, and you'll be ready to go. If you find that you need to antifreeze the garden hose so the garden hose don't freeze up on you while you're working and that, you can put this little knob on right here, this adapter.
Quick coupler.
Quick coupler, hook it to your hose there. So when you're gonna, if you are gonna do that, you can just do your antifreezing through there till you see your antifreeze come out of the top of the tank.
Also, let's talk about how you're running here. Running these lines back up into the tank so you can run during cold weather. If
In the cold weather, we have these adapters here so that you can hook your hose on there, screw it in, start your motor, and you're just gonna idle the cold water as you're driving down the highway from job to job. That way you don't have to antifreeze the whole thing.
I'll show this.
You don't have to have the heater going as long as water's moving, so you're just gonna, whichever one there you need to hook up and run, you can do that. So it's another step in not having to antifreeze and unantifreeze all through the day. So
cool.
okay,
Thanks.
thanks.